Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here in the Maldives, and I'm specifically here at Anantara Kihavah Villas on its own island. We just got here, and actually, if you're wondering why we're blue, well, we're going to explain that. I'm here with Ross Sanders, who's the general manager of this wonderful property, and we're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Ross, the first question is, why are we looking so blue? What's going on?
We're looking so blue because we are lucky enough to be 6 meters under the surface of the Indian Ocean in C, our signature underwater restaurant and wine cellar. So the backdrop is a bit blue, and
it is blue because we're surrounded by like an aquarium here. It's actually this isn't more aquarium; it's the real sea, right?
Yeah, it's like a reverse aquarium, to be honest. Yeah.
So it's really kind of fun, and you can go in there. We're going to do a little wine tasting later, but that's why we're blue. It's one of the main features, a great feature of this wonderful resort. First of all, let's talk about what's Kihavah mean for that the resort name. You talked about it earlier when we first arrived.
So Kihavah actually in Divehi, which is the local language, means young coconut, and this island is a natural island, untouched. We didn't remove any trees during the construction, and the locals know this island famously for the sweetness of the young coconut. So
we have a few coconuts.
Yeah, we have a few coconuts, so that's our welcome drink. So we are Anantara Kihavah, because in Divehi that's how the island is referred to because of the sweetness of the young coconuts.
No, so it's a wonderful. That's how you get a coconut right away, and it's there. Now, talk a little bit about the history of this property, when it was built and when it became an Anantara.
It's always been an Anantara. It was purpose-built 2011, so we're 11 years old now, and was constructed one of the first ultra-luxury resorts in the Maldives. As you can see, was one of the first underwater restaurants, but it was the first underwater wine cellar. So we've got 450 labels.
Oh, come on, every resort must have an underwater wine cellar.
Not really, but yeah. So this restaurant was actually constructed about 15 kilometers away on a local island, and floated and brought on a boat, pulled on a boat and sunk in one move. So it was prefabricated there. So it cost about $2 million to build this restaurant. So we're lucky enough to be here now, 11 years later.
No, that's great. And all right, so here we are at this property. Now, talk a little bit about your background, if I could. How long have you been the GM here?
I've been a GM for about 3 years and 2 months. So had all the fun during COVID, and island closed down, and having to handle that and the reopening and the busy time the Maldives has had, the big success we've had since reopening in late 2020. And yeah, 3 years of fun and improvements and emotional roller coaster. So before this, I was in Sri Lanka for about 2.5 years, also with Anantara. And before that, Malaysia, Japan for a little bit. But in total, about 19 years in 5-star luxury hotels in Asia.
And you're originally from Scotland, right?
Originally from Scotland, yep. But once I escaped and saw the orange thing in the sky called the sun, then I decided to.
Yeah, because that's it. I've been to Scotland, and it is lovely. But you're right, the weather is not always the best, and certainly not this amount of sun.
Not quite. Okay. Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about how do guests get to this resort? Because everybody knows the Maldives. And this is my first time in the Maldives. So how can they get here?
The best way is by seaplane. So you fly into Valana International Airport. Our team take you 7-minute drive to the seaplane terminal. You take a beautiful flight across the atolls and come into Ba Atoll. So we are in Ba Atoll. It's actually a UNESCO World Biosphere. So it's famous for the marine life, and it's the only biosphere, the only UNESCO biosphere in the Maldives, so it's quite unique. So a lot of the hotels are closer to Mali. It's a speedboat ride, whereas this is a little bit more challenging to get to, but a much more authentic and incredible travel experience. So you get that whole seaplane, 35 minutes, incredible views of the atolls, the islands, and and you land straight at the resort, and we serve you a fresh coconut when
Yeah,
you
you
get
guys
here.
are all ready for us. Although I have to admit that we came over by boat because we were coming from another resort, so we were resort hopping a little bit. But you were all there waiting. We had about a 45-minute boat ride. When I first got here, I did a 45-minute seaplane ride from Mali.
Okay.
So that's it. But it is pretty once you get here, it's not that hard.
No. Once you get here, it's quite straightforward. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the accommodations. I happen to be in a gorgeous overwater villa that is just amazing, and I saw some of the beach villas are also amazing. But how many rooms do you have total?
There's
I should say.
80 villas, all private pool villas. And we have, within that 80, we have 5 luxury residences, so from 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, with their own private gyms, their own private spas, and various other amenities. In terms of the signature aspect, I would say it's in the bathrooms.
Oh yeah, well I saw that one private villa. The 4-bedroom was, oh my God, is that a spa or what is that? That was crazy. It was it was the bathroom.
The bathroom, yeah. So there's the kind of al fresco element of the bathroom being surrounded by jungle and very open air and outdoor bathtub, outdoor shower. And in the overwater villas, it's the glass bottom.
Everything's glass bottom. It's glass bottom bathtub, glass bottom shower, glass bottom toilet. We'll talk about. I mean, you can spend a lot of quality time looking down at the fish when you're.
Interaction with the marine life, when you're relaxing, and that's the key aspect. So we are blessed with an amazing house reef. So we do have an abundance of marine life. So the amount of space that we create and the visuals to interact with that without having to do too much, that's kind of the key aspect of the overwater villas.
And it is amazing. And you got a pool around the overwater villa. I think tomorrow I'm getting breakfast there. We'll see what happens.
Floating breakfast, yeah.
So it's floating breakfast, which I've had before somewhere else, but I'm looking forward to. I actually never had it here, that's for sure. Okay. Now, what about any other features and amenities in the rooms that you want to highlight that you think are kind of unique? Obviously, those glass bottom things are pretty unique.
It's more about the glass bottom, the beautiful outdoor spaces to enjoy nature. So whether you're in a hammock suspended over the sea and you have turtles swimming underneath, or stingrays, or black-tip reef sharks, that's kind of how we want to harness nature and bring guests to nature in luxury without having to do too much work. So if you don't like to snorkel, if you don't even like to swim, you can still have that experience. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely. And as you're talking, I'm kind of being distracted by the fish that are walking behind, and they're all around us. They're on both sides of us here. And a beautiful window, huge picture windows that are going.
We just had 3 scientists come from the University of Queensland, because we wanted to do a scientific study of our reef and the density of the fish populations. So they're putting together some feedback and notes on how special our reef is, and that's why we're down here. They counted more than 120 different species of fish just from the restaurant, so not even on the full reef. And the whole aspect was, you don't need to be a diver to enjoy the marine life, because you see almost as much at sort of snorkeling or down in this restaurant as you would if you were doing dives on different areas.
I just did a snorkel. I saw a ton of fish, but I think I'm seeing more right here. In fact, I didn't see those fish before. They're different. So there's amazing and colorful fish here, and you can go snorkeling, you can go diving. It really is. I mean, this is all about the sea. Now let's talk about the restaurant. Here we are. You are in this the wine bar and wine restaurant. What are the other options you have on property?
So we have quite a wide choice, considering we only have 80 villas. Upstairs, the complex is called Sea, Fire, Spice and Sky. So we're in Sea right now. Signature restaurant is Spice. So we are a Thai company. So we have chefs from Thailand and India. So it's Thai and Indian, a little bit of Maldivian and Sri Lankan. Then we have Japanese teppanyaki. We have the Sky Bar. So it's themed on the stars, because we have the world's first overwater observatory.
Yeah, and I saw that. It's amazing. It's like, it looks like a little Star Trek-y. You got you got a whole complex, and then you have this observatory that's just stacked on top of it, right?
So it's the most powerful telescope in the Indian Ocean, because the Maldives is fantastic for stargazing, because the night sky is clear. There's no light pollution. So we have 3 in-house astronomers who bring that experience to life. So the bar is called Sky. If you go in later, you'll see the whole light arrangement on the ceiling is the constellations So you'll see later at night time, so the roof is all the constellations, which is stunning, and there's a rooftop up there to watch the sunset and also do
a bar to...
Yeah.
Plenty of bars.
We also have Manzaru, which is our Mediterranean restaurant for lunch and dinner, and we have plates, which we do breakfast also. So those are the main dining options, along with, of course, our signature dining by design, which is dinner on the beach or dinner on a private sandbank in the middle of the ocean, or dinner in your villa, or like you say, breakfast in your pool, floating breakfast. And we have a private cinema in the jungle.
Which I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That was amazing. I always liked that idea of having a cinema at a resort.
So we do a dinner in there as well. So lots and lots and lots of options for people, and never get bored.
Now, obviously, Anantara is known for its spas, and I just actually was lucky enough to have a treatment. Or you literally got me off the boat, took me right to the spa. That's a good.
It's a hard life.
I know somebody's going to do it. I don't know what it is. I know. So I had a great massage, and it is a beautiful spa right on the water, over water, sort of spa treatment rooms. It's just amazing.
Yeah. So the entire spa is over the water. That's the best real estate on the island. And every treatment room has glass bottom viewing panels on the floor, so you can see the fish. We actually did some coral planting there as well to bring the marine life in there. We have an amazing array of treatments. I don't know if you've had a chance to look, from wellness to medical. We've got medical spas, so the whole trend now is on wellness, but we had this before, and especially with COVID, the immune system. Sure. You can have IV drips there to boost your immunity. There's colon cleanses, so there's a full medical spa. Then we have the whole...
have to stay here for a while to get the whole treatment.
Yeah, and there's also the wellness aspect. So Ayurveda, we're very close to India, so we have an Ayurvedic doctor and expert. But then we also have a lot in terms of beauty. We have partnered with Bastien Gonzalez, who's a very famous manicure pedicure out of Paris. So we work with them. And the quality of the brands that we work with for the skin treatments, like 111 Skin out of London, and Subtle Energies is a very cool brand that we're working with now out of Australia. So the spa menu is probably 250.
Believe me, I was just focused on getting a nice massage at the beginning, but it was a wonderful massage. I got to go back and check out all those other treatments, and maybe come back and stay a little while and just really get kind of detoxed and well again.
We have
I guess
all those options. During the lockdown, actually, I hired a nutritionist. So we've got a full-time nutritionist who you can do consultations with if you want to look at aspects of your diet, your lifestyle, and she has a lot of herbs that she can prescribe as well. So we have a full spectrum of what's possible and what's available, and we try and educate our guests who might not have access to this in other locations or not thought about it yet, so that they take away a learning from the holiday as well.
That's good. You got to. Part of wellness is keeping it going and keeping the treatments that you got and remembering that kind of healthy lifestyle. Now, what are the other features and other highlights? I know you have a kids club past that. I know you have a fitness center past that.
Yep.
Tennis
courts, the usual.
You also have gardens. You have actually we passed it an orchid garden, right?
Yeah, we have a beautiful orchid garden with more than 2,000 type different orchids that we nurture, we grow, we place them around the island, we attach them to some of the coconut trees to give more color and more life. We have our own herb and vegetable garden as well. It's a little bit small because the island is quite small. And lots of other features in terms of the water sports is obviously a big aspect, water sports, but the diving.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do guests do here? I mean, one of the big things is snorkeling, diving, huge thing. Obviously, there are other activities. What are the kind of activities that guests will engage in?
We have probably the most activities on any island. We have also a Mai Tai professional kickbox.
I saw that. Yeah, that's your communications head is Thai, and I threatened to challenge her, but I think she kicked my ass. Put it that way. But
so that's also we are Thai brand. So having the Mai Tai instructor bringing elements of Thailand in and giving guests a different experience to get fit, to get healthy, to learn something. Kids actually love it because they learn these skills. They go back and they feel more confident. So there's lots of things. We've got some golf sets with balls that you hit into the sea that are biodegradable, turn into fish food. And
But you don't have a course. No,
don't have a course. No. We're only 12 acres. We're about the size of a couple of par 3 holes, you know.
So you can't bring Scotland, a little bit of Scotland here, right?
No, we just hit balls off the deck into the beach, into the sea, and they biodegrade into fish food. So there's a million things to do. As I said, you could stay for a month and not do all the spa treatments. You could stay for a month and not do all the dive sites. I take guests running. I take guests swimming on the reef. So a million things for families, couples, honeymoon couples, and we have a lot of repeat guests that just come back because it's one of the best house reefs, certainly the best beach. And yeah, people flop and drop, or they get very active. A lot of things, or they just drink champagne at breakfast and take it easy, you know. So
well, I got to work on that one.
Each to their own.
That. But yeah. So finally, who is your target guest for this? I mean, you have families, you have couples, honeymooners, I assume. Who would be happy here?
Everyone is the answer. Because of the design of the hotel, it's very well spread out. There's privacy in every single villa. There's big space in every single villa. The kids club is kind of nestled away, so it's not near any adult activities. Restaurants are a good size so that people are spread out as well. So we really can cater to everyone. From North America, it does tend to be couples, sort of honeymoon couples and older couples as well. It is a kind of aspirational and bucket list destination.
The Maldives has become that, indeed, just in the last few years, I think.
Yeah, and when we reopened end of September, there was only 5 markets in the world that could travel, and the US, Brazil, India, UAE, and Russia. And we're relatively strong in all those markets, and we had our first 4 guests that came were American. And it's a long way to travel.
It is a long way, but a beautiful spot when you finally get here. And there's no question you want to stay a while, at least, that's for sure.
So Emirates flight or Qatar flight into Middle East and 4 hours down. So we saw a big pickup from North America, which was great. And it was our number 2 market segment even after more countries started to travel. So yeah, it's still people who want a bit of adventure, but they want luxury as well, and they want to enjoy nature, which is incredible marine life, and learn a bit about the stars as well. So we kind of say that we have the best of that the Maldives has to offer. You don't need to go anywhere else. You have the luxury, you have the marine life, you have harnessing the beauty of the night sky as well, and the genuine hospitality from the team. And
definitely your team is wonderful. They really are. They know your name, and they really become your friends, and really look out for you wherever you are. Now, there are over like 150 resorts in the Maldives today. What makes Anantara, this resort, stand out?
Some of the things that I mentioned, so the best underwater restaurant in the world, the best observatory in the world, and for me it's the natural beauty of the island, because a lot of resorts have opened in the last few years. They've done amazing jobs. They're very high-end, very modern, whereas we have this 10, 11 years of continuity, of history of the service, of knowing how to take care of the repeat guests. But we have the best island. And you've not been to the destination before. Everyone has.
First time. I've been to one resort so far, and yours. That's
everybody has this image that every island should be perfect white sand beach around, and we didn't cut down a single tree during construction, so it's very much jungle, nature, and a perfect beach. And that sounds like it should be taken for granted. It's not. And most of the new resorts are man-made. They're pumped sand. It's all manicured. So we're an original, true, authentic Maldivian island with the best reef. So you have that. If you love nature and you're coming for a genuine, authentic experience, you'll come here. If you're going to show off and to be in the most glamorous place, we don't try to aspire to that. We have guests that come and like to do that, but it's more about appreciation of nature, appreciation of the destination, the culture, and absorbing that. And that's what our travelers do. That's Anantara as a brand as well. It's genuine connection to the local destination or local location, and we are blessed with the marine life to do that.
Well, I got to tell you, between your spa and everything else, I think you're a pretty glamorous destination. I got to tell you.
Thank you very much. It's not the worst place to wake up in the morning, so it goes down very well with our North American guests as well, because they just, once you jump in the water, once you immerse yourself in that island experience and the warmth of the team, people never want to leave, and they always want to come back.
Absolutely. So I guess you got some repeat guests too, right?
It's about 30%. So
no,
that legacy of service and the consistency, and once people find the island that they love, they tend to want to come back, because you have Maldives fans who come 3 or 4 times a year from, maybe not from North America, but from Europe and from the Middle East, and they know for 2 weeks this is what I want to do. They know the tennis coach, they know the dive instructor, the kids grow up over the years here, and that repeat business is a big part of why we're successful, and also that feeds into the service culture as well, because people come back and they're at home.
Absolutely, they know the staff and everything else. Now we got to about 105,000 travel advisors in the U.S. Is there anything else you want to tell them about how their clients, who will become your guests, how they should best enjoy this resort?
Best enjoy is to get in touch with us before clients come. We can tailor make anything from an itinerary, dietary requirements, special gifts from you if you want something set up in the room before they come, something that gives that personalized experience from you as their agent and builds that relationship between you and the client and the hotel, because it's an ecosystem that we all need to support one another to keep impressing, keep wowing, keep emotionally connecting with our guests who spend money, want to travel, trust us to deliver the experience. So get in touch with us beforehand, and we can always make it slightly different for everybody, and show that you care about them upon check-in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, where can travel advisors go to get more information about this fabulous property?
We have our own app. You can download an Anantara app, but obviously the website is the key for all information. I will share information with you on our salespeople's contacts and how people can get the best rates and everything else. And but the website is the great place to start, obviously, and we have our own app as well. So.
Great. Well, Ross, I want to thank you. Just been here less than a day, and your hospitality is amazing. It's an amazing resort. I had an idea of what the Maldives was, but I wasn't quite expecting this, and it really is a wonderful place. You wonder why people come all this way in many cases, and why the Maldives has really become so popular just in the last few years, even among Americans, because it is a long way to come, but it's worth it once you get here, that's for sure. Again, thanks so much.
Pleasure, thank you, and you're just about to enjoy some wine tasting, so the day is going to get a bit better.
It's going to be better, and I'll be wine tasting looking at the fish, so that'll
absolutely
be
good. Thank you for coming.
Actually, well, thank you. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.